What's up, good people? Hey, what's up, good people? Just going to hang out until closing bell. If anybody's out there, we're just going to hang out until closing bell. We got a few minutes. We got 46 seconds. Let's listen to what they're going to say.
Really is not valued on super growth in the next couple of years. It's very stable. It's a pristine balance sheet. It's bond-like in a lot of ways because it is a capital return story, and so it does trade in line with yields. And that's not too big a surprise when Apple's going down and dragging the S&P a little bit negative on a day when the equal weighted S&P's down 0.1%. That's not a bad day for the overall market because you know why it's happening. It's not sending a bad macro message.
All right, so we will keep our eye on interest rates. Again, the 10-year right at 4%, right on your screen right there. Tesla, Snowflake, Salesforce, all in focus in overtime with Morgan and John.
I think we'll get perhaps some parameters of what to expect with a lower priced model. Three things to look for, three things that the street are expecting. You mentioned a lower priced model. And again, I do not think they're going to say this is Model 2. This is what it'll look like. But they will give us some outlines potentially on a lower priced model. What's happening with the Mexican plant that we heard about from the president of Mexico yesterday, the more specific details, how many vehicles will be built there, what type of vehicles. And ultimately, this is all about Tesla driving down costs. They've got the hammer. I have talked about this for some time. When you look at their margins, when you look at their supply chain, they can drive down the cost further and increase their volumes, which is ultimately what they're hoping to do. Elon Musk will talk about deliveries, perhaps in a broad sense. They are expecting 1.8 million vehicles to be delivered this year, up from just under 1.4 million last year. But remember, the long-term goal, John, is annual deliveries topping 20 million vehicles. For a point of reference, John, the most vehicles ever delivered annually by any automaker, I think it was like 2006, 2007, it was Volkswagen at about 12.4 million. That's a big goal to get to 20 million. The Analyst Day, Investor Day is just beginning. We'll have updates throughout the hour.
Looking forward to that, Phil. Elon Musk makes some big promises. We'll see if in this economy they get bigger or smaller. Now, as we await earnings, let's turn back to the broader market on this first day of March. Bring in Eric Johnston from Cantor Fitzgerald, Brad Slingerland from NZS Capital. Welcome, gentlemen. Eric, you've been negative, and hey, given what's been going on, correctly negative in a lot of cases. We're in the last month of the quarter, and my question is, should investors reposition themselves if they've been somewhat long equities? Consumer confidence was pretty weak yesterday, especially when you X out how positive consumers were on the current situation because of the job market.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John. So I think the risk reward being long equities, even after this most recent sell-off in February, is extremely poor. And
Hey, we're just going to hang out a little bit for this Tesla Investors Day. You guys let me know if what did you do? Did you do any options? Did you do any calls? Did you do any puts? I actually saw some high put option on Tesla. Of course, there are some people that like to do, like I do, buy the rumor, sell the news. So they got in a Tesla, they did some Tesla call options and they're taking their money out before the announcement. So remember, buy the rumor, sell the news. You buy the stock based on a rumor that something's about to happen, and you sell it before the news comes, right? And so you got some profit taking going on in the options area of Tesla, right? So that's it, good people. We're just going to hang for a minute and let's see what they do. Let's see what they talk about. And then I'm going to just go back and forth with you guys and answer some questions, hang out with you guys. I didn't go live this morning. I had breakfast with my daughters. So, hey, family first, good people. You guys are family also. So I didn't know I was going to be going live. So we're just going to hang out. All right. We're going to hang out. And let me get my iPad here. And we're going to go over some dates. I got a video that I want you guys to look at. And of course, you guys know not to fall for spam in the comment sections. You also know that anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. So we're going to go in and out. Salesforce has their earnings. and we are awaiting the data for that. We'll go right into it. Okay, so where are my dates? Okay, you know what? We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get right into that in a minute. All right. I'm going to answer a few questions. Try to keep my eye on this screen and this screen at the same time. DCA all the way. Eric Johnson wants us to sell everything so he could buy it. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'll let you guys know what's been going on with me. I've had some physical challenges, but I'm one of those that don't like to, just old school. I'm a man. But man, I've been going through some things physically with a pinched nerve. So you guys, just pray for me, okay? Neo tanked. Yeah, I kind of expected that. I just Neo. You guys know I have a love-hate relationship with Neo. I just don't like it. I just don't like the stock. Like the car company, the battery swap technology, I think is good. They're doing a lot of things right, but it just never fully gets reflected in the price of the stock. So that's why I got out of Neo in 2021. Those of you that's been following me, and I really never got back in, right? Hey, what's up, good people? What are your thoughts on Rivian? Rivian's not doing well. Okay. Am I calling the right one out? Sometimes I get these EVs kind of jacked up. Let's see. What are my thoughts on Rivian? Okay. Yep. Yeah, Rivian is not doing well at all, good people. Rivian, now all EVs are not created equally. Remember that. Rivian has always been struggling, right? Rivian has just been struggling. You guys see in the last 5 days, you had that runoff and you got that sell off, right? All EVs are not created equally. And, that's what I got to say. You read these articles right here. Here's why. Here it is. Why Rivian stock plunged more than 1.7%. Okay, I want you guys to go read that for yourself. This is on Google Finance. And I want you to read why, okay? But I'm going to keep the questions going. All right, what are your thoughts on? Nope, not in that one. I'm not in that play. Hey, T-Ray. Hey, I appreciate your prayers, man. I got this pinched nerve and the pains were shooting so sharp, man, I couldn't sleep. But going back to the chiropractor tomorrow, it's just it'll be good. All right, hey Larry, what do you think about Coin long term? I'm not into Coin long term, and Coin long term because of the limited way that they have to make their money. They make their money off of fees, and they IPO'd so ridiculously high. Coin is just not for me. I told everybody that was following me when it IPO'd that it was way too high, and as you could see, it had to fall. It had to fall a lot to even come down, to this atmosphere. Let's see here, 1 year. Let's look at Coin. Look at how much Coin had to fall. Let's go to 5 year. Let's go to 2021, when it IPO'd. It just tanked. It just tanked ridiculously. And I know the whole stock market did, but the IPO on Coin was absolutely ridiculous. And remember, a lot of times when there's a lot of hype in these companies IPO, then just remember that when they hold it, because of the activity the activity is so high, and then let's say it's supposed to if a stock's supposed to IPO at about $50, and then just because of the buzz around it, it IPOs at $150, and you just buy it day one just because it's the hot stock, you have paid way too much for it. That's what happened with Coin the day it IPO'd. I just remember that. Let's see here. Volta's getting bought out. You know, I haven't watched it, but I did a whole video on Volta. Volta's getting bought out by another company. So I would just Google it. Listen, go to www.yahoofinance.com and put in Volta and read the articles, and it'll show you everything that's going on with Volta. They're getting bought out. Remember, the price jumped up based off of that news. What's up from Texas? Yeah, Tesla. We're gonna look at what's going on with Tesla. Let's look at Salesforce right quick, and then we'll look at it.
Sizes of companies, say in tech, maybe even in software, that you're particularly looking at? And are there data points, metrics that are important to you that will single that one out as perhaps being worth a gander?
So I think secular growth is the place that you want to be within the equity markets.
So as you can see, Salesforce is up by 11%. They beat on earnings.
They're being bought right now in cyclical sectors like industrials, home builders, and financials. We think the outlook with those three sectors and in general is cyclical.
Right. People are asking about the SPY. Okay, the SPY. Listen, the SPY is one of those things that, you know, a lot of people that have the SPY right now, a lot of you guys are out to March, I believe it's March 24th on the SPY if you're doing an option on the SPY. Anything could happen, right? You have time. And remember, just because you're doing options play, you got to look at, I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm sorry, y'all. You got to look at your purchase price. And when you get a hot pick or a hot stock, or somebody makes a video and they say, hey, you need to be playing a SPY right now. Volatility is finna go crazy, blah, 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 blah. That don't mean that you just go in and just buy everything at once at a price. You know, I like to go out. Hey, let's see what's happening.
Well, initially, we're seeing a top and bottom line beat, but yet the stock plunged dramatically down about 7%. It's regained some of those losses, still down about 4%. So what we're seeing is an adjusted EPS of 14 cents a share. The street was expecting 4 cents, so that's a beat. On revenues of $589 million, the street was expecting $575 million. The reason you're seeing some strength for the Q4 quarter for Snowflake was their product revenue. Product revenue came in higher than what the street was anticipating, so that's a source of strength, given it's the biggest contributor to their revenue line. The company also announced
Cloud is just not doing good this year. As you can see, Snowflake is not doing well. I thought they were going to give us some news on Tesla Day. So let's just see what they're talking about on Tesla Investors Day. Hopefully, you know, I don't know if there's a conference call. Leave me a comment if there's a conference call and if you can get on the conference call for Tesla Day. I'm pretty sure it is. But I just want them to just give us the bullet points here like they do. And so we don't have to be on for, 3 hours. All right. So let's see what else we got. I appreciate that. What I think about Baba. I think I personally like Baba as far as it goes, as far as Chinese ADR goes. Baba would be my play. I divorced from Neo, and I've been in and out of Baba multiple times. Stocks with Josh also. But I do the options. I don't buy the stock. Okay, so I get in, make money, get out. And then I make sure I leave my time out. Okay, I believe that Stocks with Josh is actually buying the stock. So you got to go to his page to see where he tells you where his purchase price is and where his sale price is. And make sure when you guys hear about, if he tells you I'm buying here and I'm selling here, and then you just get in and buy it where it's high, make sure you listen to the entire videos with his TA, his technical analysis, because he shows you where resistance and support is. And it's important for you to follow instructions so you can make money and not be left bag holding, okay? What else we got? I actually made a video on this yesterday. I want you to go to my video yesterday, but I will tell you, long term, I believe Lucid will make it. But I'm also telling you that Lucid will get hit this year. Lucid will get hit over the next couple of months because Lucid has to raise money. Yes, they got an infusion from the Saudis, I believe another 1.5 billion, but that just means that they're okay for this year. They're not making any money, all right? They're making zero money, really. And they're just spending money out. They have to continue to build gigaplants, and they're with most EVs, electric vehicles. Their spin and their burn through is high than their take in. Follow? And so Lucid is behind on deliveries, always have been. They're like the opposite of Tesla. Tesla kills it quarter over quarter with delivery, and Lucid is just behind. Okay? But long term, Lucid has to create a car that's going to be under 40,000. There was a report that came out that most people are looking for cars now that are at the $40,000 mark and under. So far, Lucids are expensive. When the Lucid Air came out, it was $130,000 for that car. I drove it, but how many of you have that? Now, they have to come out with their highest priced cars because it is their biggest profit margins. And so that's how you come out with a car company, okay? So short term, they're going to get spanked. I don't care what the price is. It's going to get spanked. They're going to have to do share dilution after share dilution. I'm just preparing you for the long run. But if they survive this year, Lucid, I believe, will be profitable. But I personally believe it's going to take until 2025 for Lucid to be profitable. Thoughts on silver? All precious metals are not performing well. Silver, gold is not performing well. All precious metals are not doing good right now. But if and when we get into a deeper recession, I believe that they'll be doing better. I'm not saying they're going to hit to the all-time highs, but I believe that they'll be doing better. So that's more of a long-term hold, okay? Hey, I appreciate you. Blessings, blessings. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I missed it. I'm going to tell you what was a good option play. Lowe's. And I absolutely, stupidly missed it because I'm doing this. I'm doing this all day, trying to keep you guys fed, right? And don't cry for me, Argentina. I get it. But, it's an honor to do this. But I'm going to show you why I missed Lowe's. DIY, do it yourself. Remember I said DIY, DUI. Remember I made that mistake. So if we know, let's go into psychology trading. So if we know that DIY, do it yourself, people are not doing it right now, causing Lowe's to go down, right? Causing Home Depot to go down. Remember Home Depot had their earnings last week, right? So I'm going to just pull up Home Depot, right? And Lowe's, I believe, just had theirs today, right? Did they have their earnings today? So look at this, good people. If we look at Home Depot, we knew that Home Depot did not do well on their earnings. And over the last week, they have been falling, right? See that? But now let's go to Lowe's. What is Lowe's ticker symbol? LOW. Lowe's company. There we go. So look, Lowe's is down, right? And then Home Depot is down. So what I would have done, I would have done a put on Lowe's, knowing that do-it-yourselfers have pulled back and it's not the thing right now. Look, Lowe's down 5% today. So I should have done a Lowe's put a couple of days ago, actually, and I would have made some good money. So it's just, and I'm saying that not just for now. I want you guys to look at sectors when you are doing option plays, right? So if all retail starts going down one after another, and then you have another retailer coming out with earnings, then you could see what's happening. I call this momentum option trading. I actually just got through shooting another one for the class, but I'm going to shoot it over the next week or two to show you guys how I do momentum option trading. Of course, Keenan Grace is teaching the proper way to trade options. I'm showing you guys the momentum ways that I've been sharing with you guys over the last couple of months to show you how I make money with options, okay? Hopefully that answered your question, but I don't have a hot one right now, okay? I'm looking at earnings, right? I'm looking at earnings. And so just remember, let's say we have auto earnings, right? And all of the automobiles, let's say GM comes out negative and another one comes out negative and another one comes out negative, and you read a report that nobody's buying cars. Guess what's going to happen when Ford comes out with their earnings, right? And so soon as you find this, then you could start doing a put on Ford as far as options goes and make money if it comes out with its earnings negative. Now, me personally, when it comes to earnings, I buy the rumor, sell the news. Remember, I buy it based on the earnings and I'm out before the earnings actually happens. I do that more often and I make more money doing it that way. Okay, hopefully that helps somebody. And I'm making a video on that and it will be in the class. Hey, blessings. Let's see. Would you sell Google, Tesla, Amazon stock to buy Bitcoin right now? Absolutely not. I would not. I would diversify. I'm just telling you, I would absolutely hands down not sell it. I would not. That's just me. Now, remember, anything I say, Bitcoin could take off tomorrow, but I'm just being honest with you. It's just not a good move. You're going to sell blue chip companies to get a blue chip crypto. Like I just personally would not do that. That's just me. Yep. I would diversify. I would just buy a little of Bitcoin and, Google, Tesla. Let's go back to this. Google, Tesla, Amazon. I would just keep those. If I was going to buy, I know I'm finna get it right now. If I was going to sell, if you just needed some cash, if you bought Tesla when it was around $100, I know I'm finna get it, then yes, I would do some profit taking. And if you didn't have any more money to put into Bitcoin, then that's the only one that I would shave a little bit and put it into Bitcoin if you just have to have Bitcoin at this price out of the choices that you have. So I just want to be correct. Okay. What do you, Uncle Larry, what do you, thank you. Hey, thank you. Thank you guys so much. What I think Tesla's going to do, let me tell you something. if you haven't learned anything by now, is Tesla is the stock that defies gravity. and that's just the truth. Tesla defies gravity. Tesla is not a stock. Tesla is not of this world. Tesla is a freaking superhero. Let's just call it what it is. But eventually, somebody's going to come with the kryptonite, okay? And it's going to take Superman, bring it to reality, okay? So let's just trade the market that we're in, okay? I don't know what's going to happen to Tesla, but all I can tell you is Tesla's a freaking superhero. And, I don't know what is going to be said on this Investors Day that's going to move Tesla, if anything, okay? He said, what happened to not talking? I know that is funny. I said, I'm not talking about Tesla anymore, but it's like you can't talk about stocks and not talk about Tesla. It's just almost impossible. I tried, family. Chris, I tried. where do you go and you know what? I'm gonna just share you guys. Which I shared this on Stocks with Josh's page. I'm trying to see what they're talking about. They're still on Salesforce. I'm waiting to see if they do anything. Listen, I'm gonna show you guys some things that some of the things that just simple things, right? You don't have to have buy this and buy that and buy this and buy that. You can go right here to Yahoo Finance, right? I'm gonna show you guys something. I know I showed this before, but this, I'm telling you, will help you guys make money. It's easy, okay? So, let's say, soon as you click in here, you can see what's moving. And I know this is basic for some of you, but a lot of you guys don't know that this exists. So this is www.yahoofinance.com, right? Soon as you click in the bar, you could see what's moving. I happen to know that Novavax is tanking. NEO is tanking, Lowe's is tanking, and Rivian is tanking. Even though you see the arrow up, I looked at all of these stock, right? Now, sometimes you could say NEO is tanking, right? Watch, when we go there, boom, NEO is down almost 6% today, but after hours it went up. So sometimes I will see, has NEO really bottomed out? Because I look for the green in the red. And then I'll say, has NEO bottomed out, and could NEO be on a turnaround? And so here you can see after hours, it's already starting to go up a little bit. Now, this doesn't mean anything. The next thing you could do, this is the easy, low-hanging fruit, good people. Then you go here and you start reading these. See here, NEO Q4 earnings 2022, transcript, you start going down. 2 hours ago, NEO stock, buy, sell, or hold, and start reading these articles, right? Okay, NEO, why NEO stock took a hit today, and this is some of the easy things that I look at, right? Then let me show you something else that most people don't know. You can go and get some of the free recommendations, right? You could see, is it upgraded? Is it downgraded? You could see, look, this is December, January, February, March, right? And as you can see, yellow, 5 holds, and then green is a buy, and then the dark green is a strong buy. These are recommendations, okay? And then you could click here and go in any even deeper. I just want to show you guys the free stuff. Now, here's another way that I find stock that no one's looking at. If you go right here, it says similar to NEO. And I've made a lot of money doing this. So it shows you Fisker, Lee, Rivian, Lucid, Xpeng. Sometimes when you are into precious metals, that type of stuff that people, or battery companies that you don't normally hear of, sometimes I'll go and I'll find a very low price company that's doing well, that's on the upswing, and I'll get in early. Never knew the company even existed, but then I'll start doing my research on the company. I start looking at the financials. I start looking at who the CEO is, those type of fundamental things. And then I see the company's balance sheet. Now I have in the class again, I have a lesson on how to read a balance sheet and what is important in a balance sheet. And then I could see, hey, this is the company that could, and I'll start investing in that company at a fair price. And then when it, starts to grow, now I got in early. But that's more long-term investing. And sometimes that's how I simply do some of my research. Of course, I am all over the place. I'm at CNBC. I'm at Fox Business. I'm at Yahoo Finance. I'm at the Wall Street Journal. I'm all over the place because I'm searching, okay? What else we got here? Long term, I believe NEO's going to make it. I just don't like all of the drama until, and that's why I'm just not in it. I got tired of the roller coaster. That's all. And to be honest with you, it was just this China love hate thing with China, and it just got on my nerves, and I just got tired of the roller coaster, and I just got off the roller coaster. That's all, good people. That's all. If NEO gets over here to America, then I believe they will be. I do believe that they will be Tesla's top competitor, even over Lucid, because of their price point of their cars and the cars that they have coming out. But it's not gonna be a straight line up. It's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be some pain. All right. What I think about Lee, I haven't looked at Lee. Polestar, I don't know if they're profitable. We have to check the financials to see if they're profitable. Okay. You think gold will hit 2K at least by 2023? Let's see. If the market goes down hard enough, people are actually fleeing to bonds right now. And because you got safety in bonds. If you can get 4 to 4.5%, safely in bonds, then diversify. Some people are riding 60-40 right now. 60 in the stocks or equities and 40% into bonds even, right? Forgive me the way I'm sitting, man, because this pinched nerve, I have to keep this leg kind of elevated a little bit, but we gonna get over this. All right. What else? Have I heard of Honest Stock? No, I haven't. Hey, what's up, good people? Hello. No, I haven't heard of Honest Stock. Matt, what do you think Tesla will go? I don't know the question. I don't know the answer. Hey, blessings. Cardano. I would check with Stocks with Josh on Cardano. I think he did a video here recently. I haven't been looking at it recently, so I don't want to mislead you guys. I would rather you guys get that information on somebody that's keeping, a strong watch. So man, I don't want to play the earnings. It's not an earnings call, Investors Day for Tesla. Because sometimes those things go on to 3 to 4 hours and it's just blah, 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 blah. And then they give you the news. And I just want them to give the news. So I'm keeping an eye on it, as you guys could see. But they are giving earnings as they come out. What else we got here? Still GE. I sold my GE today. It'll probably be the same price tomorrow. Remember, my strike price on GE was 75, and it's at 75 now. And I made a ton of money off of GE Healthcare. So, but I just sold it right now, and I'll probably be back in. Microsoft, I like. I like Microsoft. Long hold. Let's look at Microsoft right now. I love Microsoft. I'll be honest with you guys. Microsoft. Okay, yeah, I love Microsoft. Let's take a look at it. Look at that. Boom, boom. It took a while, but it's kind of double topping. It looks like it's heading towards a reversal just looking at this chart without pulling up a real chart. And but I like Microsoft long term. Microsoft, because of the AI, the AI race, Microsoft is going to be one of the biggest winner. But you really want to know who I think is going to be the biggest winner in the AI chase with the Chat GPT, the other one and the other one and the other one. I think it's going to be AMD. I believe that AMD will probably be one of the biggest winner because they need the chips. They need the 3D chips. They need fast processing, and AMD is going to be a winner. So yes, I do have some Microsoft. I $5 a day into it. I buy some, I DCA into Microsoft, but I also, I said AMD, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is my number one. NVIDIA. So I dollar cost average into NVIDIA weekly, and I also do into Microsoft. Now, Microsoft, I don't care what it does this year, okay? Because I do believe it's going to be range bound this year. I just do. But it's like crypto with the accumulation stage. I don't care if it's range bound. I'm going to just keep accumulating, because by the time the next bull run comes, this AI is way more advanced or nearer than, let's say, the metaverse. The metaverse is still years out. This AI stuff, though, it's not really going to hit hot this year, but they're very close, because this is nothing that they're just thinking of. It's stuff that they've been working on forever and a day, because all of these companies have AI, artificial intelligence, and they're just building on it, okay? Including, Teslas and including self-driving cars. That's all AI, artificial intelligence, okay? And so as it grows, so will Microsoft, and so will NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of my plays over any other chip company. That's just me personally. Let me know what you think. Hey, Kathy, yes. Yeah, GEHC. Yeah, I sold mine today, but I'm looking to get back in. And remember, go back to my video and look at the dates that I had out on those option calls. But it hit that strike price already. I was at 75, it's at 75. So now I'm going to look for a further strike price, a future strike price. Yeah, that's true. Right now, stay away from companies that don't make money. Okay. Now, remember my rule of thumb: small cap, small investment; bigger cap, bigger investment. Okay. Just go to see if they're making money, period. If they're making money. And if they don't have money right now, or access to money. So like Lucid had access to money. They can pick up the phone and call the Saudis and say, hey, we need another, $1 billion or $1.5 billion. The Saudi cuts them a check, right? So that's different. Okay. Hey, good day. Yes, good people, hit that like button. Yep. How do you know if a company is profitable? Now, I go in depth in the class, okay? So I just want you guys to know. Let's look at something. I'm going to give you a brief look at a company. All right. Let's go to NIO, right? So let's see here. Let's go to NIO, right? First thing you want to do here is you want to go to the financials. Okay. Now, you can go quarterly or you can go annually, right? I'm just going to leave it on annually. So you can look at total revenue. So here, 2019, 2021. You can go to total revenue. You can see revenue, they've been growing year over year, right? Then you look at the cost of revenue, right? Now I look at the operating expenses. But what you really want to do, and in a balance sheet, you need to learn how to read all of this. And I cover that in the class. It's just a lot, okay? But you simply want to go to net income, right? So look at this. You see that negative? And this is in billions. So they're negative $9 billion in income, right? Negative. Even EBITDA before tax and all taxes and all of that, negative. Now, the good thing is their income, what they're down is shrinking. Okay, see here, negative 11 billion, negative 5, and then it jumped back up negative 10, and now negative 9. So that's how, just a brief, quick look. There's other things. I just wanted to briefly show you that you got free tools that shows you the basics. Now, there's 1,000 windows that you can go into, drop down after drop down after drop down. In the class, I show you how to really look at it, and I'm going to continue to add other classes to that, because the truth be told, you can look at a stock for 5 minutes, but you only got 5 minutes worth of information. Companies that are investing into other companies, they will spend a week going over the financials of one stock. And so, but there's ways for you to, I would say spend a minimum of 30 minutes. If you're going if you're going to put a lot of money into a company, spend a minimum of 30 minutes going over the financials. Okay. Hopefully that answered it without, me spending an hour with that. Yeah. Yep. How much? It's just one price for the whole class. And so whatever I add to the class, you get it. Right now, it's $100 off the price that it is now. Just click the link below and look at everything you get. And then you make the decision. The price that it is now, it is $100 off. So the price that is posted, that is the discounted price. It will be going up $100. And everything that gets added, it's a one-time fee. There's no monthly fee or none of that. What about buying treasury yields? Yes, people are buying the 2-year. People are buying the 2-year and making that money. It's good money right now. It's safe money right now. So yes, yep. And shout out to Stock Mo. He does a lot with bonds. So yep, shout out to Stock Mo. Shot-Town in the house. I haven't invested in any of those. I know everybody else just like going Google Gaga over that. It just doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't do it for me. You're gonna put people on a rocket ship. You got these billionaires that's gonna pay. It's gonna be people movers. I understand that down the road the price will come down, but I just believe that that's so far out. And last year, anything that was new, anything that was just emerging technology was just making a lot of money. I just don't see it short term. And when I mean short term, I don't see it in the next 5 years making a lot of money. So I'm going to put my money where I can really see some returns. Okay. Hey, you keep, hopefully you heard my answer to that. Just click the link below, top link below, and you'll see that you don't pay for the modules. You just pay for the class and you get it all. All right? You get it all. Okay? What else we have here? Alphabet and Fords. Yes. Google, absolutely. And Ford, yes. Ford, I know that they had to pull back on the F-150, but the problem with the F-150 was they couldn't keep up with demand. And whether you believe in EVs or not, electric vehicles, it's here to stay, and it's only going to increase its footprint. I do believe if we have a next leg down, that all EVs, like I made on my video yesterday, will get a spanking. And whether it be charging stations, electric vehicles, they will get a spanking because they are tied to technology, and technology get a hit, especially with higher interest rates. And that will be an opportunity for you and me to buy. Okay? So that's my question to you. What do you have a list? Do you have a watch list of the stock that you are prepared to buy when and if we have the next leg down? Yep. Yes, I swung my EOG, but I'm looking to get back into EOG because I believe energy will go back up. Remember, I keep taking small profits and getting out. If it goes up over 20%, 30%, I get in, I get out, boom, boom, depending on how much money I put in. But I believe EOG will be a good play this year. I do. I believe that energy will spike back up. If the geopolitical situation gets worse, EOG will go back up. And it doesn't sound like Putin is ready to just say, okay, I quit. No, it doesn't sound like that at all. As a matter of fact, tensions are rising. So if you think energy is going up, then WTI and EOG plays like that, I believe will go back up. I've made a lot of money off of energy based on these type of environments, okay? So you do your own due diligence. Don't buy it because I bought it. I need you to go do your own due diligence. Yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt to have Nvidia and AMD. It doesn't hurt. Like, they're both going to win in the AI race. So why pick one over the other? But me personally, I like Nvidia. Okay. Yes, I meant Nvidia. Did you Nvidia? Wow, you got a lot of letters in there. I don't know. Again, I would check with Stocks with Josh on the Baba play for the stock. The option, I got in, I got out. Every time I get in, I get out, it bumps up. Like if tensions between us and China ramp up, I'm going to buy some more. I'm just going to buy some more Baba when it goes down. And I'm just saying that I'll just be honest with you, it's been some of the easiest money I make. It's like clockwork. When Chinese American tensions go up, I start buying Baba. I do the options. I buy it. And sometimes I'll buy the stock. And it always winds up working out. I know one of these days we may get caught. So I can't predict the future. But just like clockwork, it works out. And then, shroop, especially on the options. And then I make a lot of money. It has been ongoing. Every time they talk about delisting, which has never happened, whether it be Chinese side or American side, talk about delisting and the fear comes in, I look for the red and I go in and I pounce. And I'm telling you, so far, I have not lost a dime with Baba. Every time I buy it, I make money. But I only buy it when there's tension and when it's going down. And sometimes I go in heavy. And as you guys saw, sometimes I make a lot of money. Okay. In the old days, I'd say yes, but now you don't want to do that in this market right now. I just won't. And you know what? I would just take 5, just draw a pie and just say, hey, with 10K, draw a pie. If you drew a pie and I can't get my iPad. I got that little pen. If I drew a pie right now, if you're a beginner, I would put a line right in half and I would put VOO for 50% of it. And then I would put companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Nvidia. Those would be the second half, right? So 50% would just be in VOO, and then the other 50% would be in good blue chip companies. And what I would do if I was you, I would invest $1,000 a month starting now. That's what I would do. I would just $1,000 a month into all of them and just DCA for the rest of this year. That's what I would, if you really want to get rid of that $10,000, that's what I would do. And let's say you invested $1,000 in March into all of those. And then April, you invested another $1,000. And then the market just tanks, just drop. Then I would do $2,000 or $3,000 when the market dropped, and then continue $1,000 out. That's what I would personally do. But remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. You got to do your own due diligence. Let's see what they're talking about with Tesla. That's why we buy it. Did it drop? I buy the rumor, sell the news, and this is why if it did drop. Here we go. Not by much. No, Tesla didn't drop by much. After hours, yeah, it hasn't dropped by much. Let me bring that down so you guys can see it. Yeah, it hasn't dropped that much. Let me get back onto this screener. Okay. Yeah, Tesla didn't drop that much. Best price for Google. You know what? I'm going to leave by saying this. Thoughts on Novavax? I wouldn't touch it. As my honest answer. And that it could rebound. But they are in trouble and they don't know if they got enough cash to operate. And so that's my thought on Novavax. If they ain't got enough cash to operate, and we're in a bear market and could be heading to a deeper recession, there's just better places to put your money. Okay? Price on Google. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm only going to say this because this is what I'm trading. I'm trading right now in this market. I'm trading evaluations, and I do have a time where I'm going to be looking to just get back into the market. Okay, look at this. There's a Chinese ADR that's going up, but I am looking for evaluations in this market. I'm looking at the PE, right? But I'm also looking, to be quite honest, I said Q1 earnings. But once we get Q1 and Q2 earnings for sure. So Q1 earnings, which will probably start in April. So that's January, February, March. I'm going to look at Q1 earnings, okay? Right now, we're still getting earnings from last quarter. But we need 3 months of this quarter to start getting Q1 earnings of 2023. Once we get those earnings, I'm going to see is there a downtrend in earnings, right? And if everybody starts lowering their forward guidance, right? And if that is the key, then I'm going to be even more bearish on the market. And I'm going to watch the stock market and see what it does. Now, after 2 quarters of this year, so we need 2 solid quarters of earnings, I'll know where the rest of the year is. And I do personally believe, and this is a long shot, but this is what I believe. I believe the stock market from 2021, when it started a downtrend, I do believe that the stock market will bottom out this year, right? And I believe that will happen this summer-ish. So it may be the end of summer, but I believe by the end of this summer, the stock market will bottom out. So do we know what time frame? Do we know exactly when? No. But I believe that even if it's already bottomed out, I just need to see what 2 quarters of earnings is for 2023. I will get a peek into it after Q1 earnings, which will probably be in April. So we got January, February, March, and then April. Okay? Then I'm going to look at Google, Microsoft, Tesla. Meanwhile, I'm dollar cost averaging all the way up until with small amounts. I never stopped that. The $5 a day. Remember $1 Million Cup of Coffee? I'm never stopping that. But that's when I'm going to put big money into the market. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, let's get to... Yeah, Tesla's going back up. Okay. Okay. They selling Krispy Kremes at the... Thanks for the information. Yeah, actually, that sounds good. He wanted everybody to know that they selling Krispy Kremes at McDonald's. What? Boogie Down Productions. That's probably the best news I heard today. Man, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. I like VOO and VTI. But right now in this environment, I like VOO more because it's the top 500. No, I thought it was a Chinese. This company right here, I thought it was I thought it was the other company. But hey, they killing it, 22%. DUOL. All right. But you guys know me. I don't like chasing green. So he wanted y'all to know about the donuts, Krispy Kremes. All right. Do you still own Lucid shares? Nope. Nah. If I did, I probably got another portfolio where I got just a little, not enough to mention. Yep. Yeah, Google for sure. I don't know. I got to check into Honda. I really don't know the answer to that. But Honda's done good, so we better check into it. Hey, blessings, good people. Uh, I was shooting a lessons for the class and I used Tesla in real time. So I bought a call option and a put option and I held them for like 30 minutes. Let's see what they're talking about.
John, we just crossed a key 50-vote threshold, which means the Senate now does have the votes it will need ultimately to repeal a Department of Labor rule which allows fund managers to consider ESG considerations when they're making investment decisions on behalf of retirees. That is, if you are in favor of ESG investing, you don't want this to pass. If you are opposed to ESG investing, you do want it to pass.
I'm tired of the whole ESG thing. Okay. Will you let us know? Oh, when what happens? When what happens? I'm sorry. Hey, I appreciate you guys too. Yeah, I needed a laugh. My man. You know what's crazy? Now I'm thinking about I'm thinking about McDonald's and I'm thinking about Krispy Kreme's donut. Thanks a lot, fam. Thanks a lot. Right. Thanks, family. Hey, I hope I'm helping somebody. Nope, I haven't. DCA all the way. Okay, you're doing a $5 a day cup of coffee list that I gave you. Okay, you're still DCAing in those companies. Is there a good way to save money? Good way to save money and to do investing? Oh, yes. Absolutely. 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 And those were just suggestions, but those are the ones that I'm in. And you got to be dedicated. I'm just begging you to give it 5 to 7 years. I'm begging you to give it 5 to 7 years. The only thing I regret in my one of the things I regret in my investing is not starting the $5 a day sooner. I'm just telling you, it's the only thing I regret, especially now. And this year, I took my $5 a day, and I'm doing it since we are lower than we were at January. I'm just doing $10 a day this year, and then soon and if we get a downturn, then I'm doubling that, and that's how I'm doing. I am moving more aggressively towards the red because I understand that the more that I buy these blue chip companies and these growth stocks when they're beat down the most, the longer I get to do that, the longer I get to buy these companies on sale. And I'm not worrying about what the price is going to be tomorrow or next month. But I know in 5 years, I'm going to be glad that while the camel is kneeling, I got on his back and I just kept putting in, because I understand the power of compounded interest, and I understand. And as you can see, a lot of these companies that are in my $5 a day are already into what? AI. Okay? And so when the next bull run happens and it comes up, then, man, the only regret I had before 2007 is that I wasn't just doing this. The only regret that I had in 2008 is that I wasn't doing this more. That's the biggest regret, is that I didn't buy more. For those of you that are new to investing, learn this. If you don't learn anything from me, learn this. The biggest regret I have for 2008, remember, the recession started in 2007 and ended in 2009, but we call it the recession of 2008. The only regret, or should I say, the biggest regret I have from the last recession, which is when I made the most money I made in the stock market, period. The only time that I've made as much money as that was in 2020 during COVID. So what is that telling you? Run towards the red. And if I'm going to be your number one cheerleader, when and if this market takes another major leg down, I'm going to be hitting that record button and I'm going to say, okay, time to buy. When everybody else is fearful, I'm going to be saying, time to buy, time to buy. Okay? And so I just want to encourage you guys, man. I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm just like, hey, it's time to buy. And you're going to be like, man, the building's on fire. And I'm going to be saying, run towards the building. We all going to be firemen. We all going to be superheroes. Okay? I know I keep saying one more, man. I just like to go back and forth with you guys. Amazon is another one. GoRo is not doing well because just like silver's not doing well, none of the precious metals are doing well right now in this market because we keep having these bear market bounces. We keep having these rallies and rallies and rallies and rallies, you know. But remember, I said last week, I said, be careful of these rallies because if we have these rallies, like if we go up 700 points, right? And then the next day we go down like 500 points and you still feeling good. And the next day we go up 300 points, but then the next day we go down 700 points over a period of time. We keep thinking it's a bull market, but if you zoom out, you can see we still stair stepping down. We got to be careful because that's a sign to me that it's hey, let's see what they're talking about.
Base cells and electrification. I thought that was interesting because that's a shift that's already going on in China in terms of using lithium iron phosphate batteries. But
absolutely,
that's not. I mean, that's a longer term thing for sure.
Longer term, and that's all this has been so far in terms of this is where we could go, not just Tesla, but the entire global energy ecosystem, if you will, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. So we're still waiting for the specifics that relate to Tesla, and as soon as we have any, we'll let you know.
Thank you, Phil. Phil LeBeau, monitoring all the action there at the Investor Day. The stock holding steady in the after-hour session, just down fractionally after a 1.5% decline in today's session. What do you think?
Yeah, so listen, part 3 of this master plan, all good stuff. I mean, those are things pushing, I think, the world to a place. I think we all want to be less dependent on fossil fuels. And I think Elon, if you want to give him the most credit for anything that he has done over the last 15 years, I think it has been that. I would just say the here and now, though, when you look at this stock, okay, it's had this huge run off of those lows. And when I think about this, I go back to 2019 when the company on a GAAP basis was still unprofitable. Their gross margins were 17%. Okay, in 2022, they topped out about 25%. They're expected to go down this year to 22%. The stock has been cut in half from their late 2021 highs. So what's interesting to me, year over year, earnings this year are expected to be flat, okay, despite revenues supposed to be up 25%. We know that they cut prices dramatically on many of their models. I still think that earnings estimate for this year is really under pressure here, given those price increases, and especially if we see the sort of economy that I believe we're going to see in the back half of this year and some of the issues that they have in China. So to me, the here and now, I think the stock is still really expensive here, and I think the earnings this year are still pretty vulnerable.
So I don't disagree with Dan on it being expensive here. Mm-hmm. It had that run up 100 points. I sold my stock that I bought around 100, sold it up around 200. Then I got sucked back in because there was a gap in the chart up to 230. So I'm not totally against the overbought issue, but look at what happened with Rivian. Look at what happened with Fisker. Look at what happened with all these other stocks. Even in
Lordstown, Ford.
What?
Lucid,
Yeah.
down Ford, yeah.
And Ford, exactly. So Ford is a mainstay company. So on a relative basis, they look like they're knocking it out of the park. And it's too consensus for me to think after Investor Day that it trades down 8 to 10%. That's what it always does. That's what everyone knows it always does. Maybe this time is different.
Wait, so you're going to go, so consensus is that, and so you're going to go anti-consensus by holding it long, thinking it's not going to go down after Investor Day.
I'm hoping.
Even though it moved according to consensus into Investor Day, it's not going to move according to consensus afterwards?
But it didn't really, it wasn't consensus. It was the after move off of that 106, 100 level that really kind of made it pop higher. So for me, it came in from about 214 or so, all the way down to 200. So I think it sucked out a lot of that overbought. And I think you have another shot, maybe it pops.
Right. But what you mentioned in terms of the other EV makers, I mean, granted, they're startups. Some of them have decent balance sheets, like Rivian. Rivian cut its forecasts, right? Lucid can't sell cars. People don't want those cars. Mm-hmm. Ford is having difficulties. Stellantis talked about, having to get costs down. It's not an easy industry, even for the legacies, to break into.
That's exactly what I just said. It's not an industry remember, everything I just said, they're solidifying it. Now, he made a grave mistake. He bought Tesla at 100-ish and ran it up to 200, so he made 100%. And then he said the magic words. He got sucked back in. If you got on a football team and you beating the other team, right? Or you and you got 2 minutes left in the game or a minute left in the game. Same thing with basketball. What do? You pull your star player out so they don't get hurt. You killing the other team. There's no way for them to catch up. And I just think he blew it by getting sucked back in. He should wait for it to cool off and then get back in. Okay. And just like she said, even the legacy car companies, it's still early for EVs. Let's see if they're talking about anything else.
Seeming to isolate part of his potential customer base. Let's just say that. Dan says it a different way, but it's pretty much the same point. So I think that was sort of Max Elon. Elon being difficult. He's sort of really pulled that back in. So we'll see. It's interesting they would start a half hour late. I don't know why. What's that about? It's like a fashion show.
They just start earnings like almost an hour late a couple of times. I mean, so it's I don't know.
Okay. You guys are forgetting he's the CEO of Twitter, of SpaceX, of the Boring Company, of Neuralink. Oh, and also a $650 billion market cap company called Tesla. Okay, so 30 minutes late. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, you guys are bringing up competition and how maybe competition is having just as hard of a time because they are coming at a later stage than Tesla. But I thought it was interesting. There was actually just a survey where I think it was Rivian actually had higher customer satisfaction than a Tesla. So I think some of the question is, what do consumers want to buy? And Tesla has this really big push right now where they're trying to get 20 million vehicles sold by 2030.
And it's also only 8 customers at Rivian.
Right, yeah.
So it wasn't hard to knock it out of the park for those 8.
But it is a really ambitious goal for them considering,
That's some good dialogue. But as you guys know, Tesla is notorious for being late. So I thought I would be going on with them, but man, they late. Do you have any? So do you have any dividend portfolios, Uncle? So here we go. I'm going to go back to the class. I'm actually working on doing an entire chapter in the class about dividends. And yes, I am working on a special guest to teach that module or that chapter. And when it's up, I'll bring it in. So are they talking now?
Stocks kicking off March on a muted note. The S&P and NASDAQ down fractionally while the Dow managed to eke out a gain, but yield.
Yeah, but they're taking forever and a day. Yeah, Coke's a good stock. You got people like the Warren Buffetts of the world. Look at that. You just brought it up. No, that's Alcor. I just saw Coke. That's Alcor. Sorry. It's a good long-term hold. People gonna drink pop, period, or soda. It all depends on where you at, how you pronounce it. All right, where we at? Do not forget to DCA. Do not forget to DCA. Hey, what's happening from NAM? This is a good question, right? This is a real good question. What do I think of the basis points right here, right? So I'm going to play for you guys a video. And let me see if I can pull that one down, pull that one up. Let's see if I could get this to play.
For Main Street, but is going to be difficult and increasingly difficult for financial assets.
You think we're still in the midst of Greenlight Capital? He joins us live today. Welcome back. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Scott. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And we're going to get to your performance in 2022, which was absolutely off the charts in just a moment. But I want to start with getting your take on where we are in the markets now. You wrote in your investor letter, David, back in the fall of last year, quote, "The correct posture is to be bearish on stocks and bullish on inflation." So what is your view today relative to what it was then?
It's the same. I think we should be bearish on stocks and bullish on inflation. I think we've moved from an economy that spent many years in secular deflation, and I think that we're now in an inflationary era. And I think we're at a time that, after a long period, which was very, very good for financial assets, but maybe not so good for, Main Street, I think we're sort of in the reverse of that. I think we're in a policy now which is probably pretty good for Main Street, but is going to be difficult and increasingly difficult for financial assets.
You think we're still in the midst of this bear market that we've been into at a time when some are saying that we're actually in the early stages of a new bull market? How do you address that?
Well, different people have different opinions, and they might be right. We'll see what happens over time.
But as I mentioned at the very top here, you are coming off a fabulous year, up 36.6% net of fees, an astonishing, really, 51 points of alpha. It was the best year you've had in your macro portfolio. And one of your biggest winners plays off the view that you have in the market, a bet that rates would go higher, that inflation would increase more than people thought. Do you still have that bet on, that rates are going to continue to move higher? And as we're having this conversation, we are watching a 10-year right on the doorstep of 4% again.
Yes, I think that both long and short-term rates are headed higher and probably higher than what people are expecting.
To what degree? I mean, what's the target in your mind that you think, if they're already at the level in which, I said to you now, a day when rates are moving higher, got the 2-year at 487, the 10-year right on the doorstep, as we said, of 4. How much higher?
Well, let's just think about the economy for a minute, if I could just take a step back. We have right now is a very strong economy.
This guy's dry as a cracker. But anyway, he's smart, though. I listen to guys, he got the track record. He is a funds manager, okay? So he manages a lot of money. And he's been doing well, and he's been calling it. And I agree with him, but we just keep having these bear market bounces. So what we're going to do is not try to predict the future, but trade the market that we are in. Hey, I've shared my options portfolios many times. My plays. I in my morning lives, I'll say, hey, I'm going to do this. And then by the evening, I'll say, hey, I've done this. And then the next day, I'll say, here we are. So I've done that multiple times. Okay, that's it. All right, so, wow, it's been an hour and 13 minutes and still nothing from Tesla, man. Tesla, man, they just, Tesla's just like, yeah, whatever, we'll do it, whatever. But anyway, hey, we had a lot of time to talk and just get into just get into it. Hey, caught the live. That's right. Yes. DCA on red. Absolutely. Yep. Somebody said 100 basis points. Full percentage. It's not going to happen. I believe we're going to get 25. I believe we're going to get another 25, but it's the same thing, but just smaller doses, right? So instead of going up 75 basis points, he's just going to say, hey, we'll do three more 25 basis points. 75 would shock the market. Market would tank red like you guys haven't seen in 2 years, right? But if he, like you guys haven't seen this year yet. If he goes up 1 basis points, it'll shock the market more than you guys have seen in 2 years. But he could still turn around instead of going up 75 basis points and say we're going to do 3 25s. Or instead of going up 1 full point, he can say, hey, we're going 4 25s, right? Basis points, which is the same thing. All right. So let's see what they're talking about.
Which are moving lower here. After the company has delayed the
Silvergate.
filing of its
We not.
10-K, you're seeing the stock is
Whatever.
down about 23%.
Hey, so I'm gonna leave it right there, good
Bank
people.
says,
Is there
requires
a
additional time to
recession?
perform
We're
analysis,
probably
record journal
at the
entries
beginning of
related to
it.
subsequent
No, we ain't at the
events,
beginning. Listen, I got news for y'all. The recession started January 2022. That's when the recession started. Okay.
Here over time. Melissa?
Wow, Seema, thank you. Seema Modi, that's probably just about the worst headline.
Yep. So I try to answer you guys' questions. Shocked at the market. Would love to see that. Yeah, let's rip the Band-Aid off. You guys know I'm all about ripping the Band-Aid off, let the market absorb it. Let's get it over with. We got all of these signs with the 2 and the 10-year curve. We got all of this long-term bad things to happen or to come. Let's just get it over with. And the fact of the matter is the market always rebounds before the economy anyway. And the Fed just keeps hinting that he really don't care about the stock market. He just cares about the overall economy. Now, we understand that the economy has to be corrected, and that is the major thing. Stock market will always correct. It has since 1792. Stock market has always rebounded. Okay, just remember that.
Pay their preferred dividend, right? Which it was only
No, I don't hold those long. Remember, SQQ and TQQs, I don't hold those long. And those are not long-term investments. I just want you guys to know that are playing the cues. Those are ins and outs. For me personally, it's hard for me to hold those over 3 days. I just don't.
I'm glad I did.
Let's see what this charter says. He's pretty good at times.
I mean, the thing is, sometimes it's just a malaise. It's stuck. It's spinning its tires. It being a stock, a currency, a commodity, an index. The market is basically going nowhere. And in many senses, that's why the pair of twos designation exists. Big hands are big, and we know in life when you have a big opportunity, you go for it. This is not 3 of a kind. It is not a flush. It is not a straight. It is almost 5 random cards. My bias remains the downside, and I think ultimately that on an intermediate basis, there's little to no upside, an unknown but prospectively meaningful downside. And every time we have these big counter trend moves, the bullish sentiment pops, and it seems to be dashed repeatedly. So you see the chart here, converging trend lines. It's even money, fair money. Again, my bias is the downside. But let's take a longer term iteration. That's a 1-year chart. That's 5 years. Again, if you didn't know what it was, that's the thing, and someone showed you this chart, a pictorial representation of price, what about that would make you run out and buy it? Or frankly, let's sell all of it, short it. It's just sort of equilibrium. Now, does that mean it's going to stay here? Of course not. People think it's going up in a big way. This chart is important. It's the long-term chart, picking up the financial crisis peak, the 09 low, and we have ascended within this perfect 45-degree channel since the 09 low until we went out through the top in late 21, early 22. And valuations at that point, because fundamentals and charts match up, were at or near records. And now we're sitting at the midpoint of the channel. Again, just even Steven, a pair of twos, but I do think we have more risk of going to the bottom half of the channel than back to the top.
What is the bottom half of the channel, just for reference, Carter?
Well, it's how quickly you get there, right? Because it's moving. So if you go there tomorrow, it's sub 3,000. If you get there towards the middle of the year, end of the year, it's more like 3,500.
Okay. Either way, that's that's a lot. Carter, thank you.
You bet.
Carter Braxton Worth.
Man, these guys act like somebody got a gun to their head and making them go get on TV. They dry as a cracker. He's like, I stick with my charting guy. You guys know who that is. Stocks with Josh. He is the true, to me, the master trader. Okay? He is the man with the TI, technical analysis, TA, right? So someone's asking about the update on the training. It's live. It's live. Click the top link below. The class is now live. And it's $100 off. The price you see in the class, that is the price. It will be going up $100. It is live right now. The classes are live right now. It's the Ultimate Beginners class. It is the top link in the description below. All right? So I wanted to let you guys know first, okay? Yes, Josh is the man. Josh is the man. Okay, so I'm also going to say this. I'm going to end by saying this because this, this investor day, man, is just like they forever in the day. Like he don't care about the people that's out here waiting. You know, brilliant people like Elon, man. Listen, I want to say this, and this is going to sound fatherly or uncle-y or whatever. Happy hump day. So listen, this is what I want to say to you guys. Like never before, if you talk to anybody that was investing during the last recession, I want everybody to go back to 2008, okay? The last recession and every recession before that. Let me see if I can just pull something up right quick. I want you guys to see this because I want you guys to make money. Now let's just go to the S&P, right? And then let's see if we could go back to 2007 to 2008. Okay. So here we are, 2007. All right. Let me blow this up. I really want you guys to do this, to look at this. Okay. Sorry there, good people. All right. Let's go to Max. Now, this is 2007. Remember, I just told you guys that 2007, let me bring it up. Remember, I just told you guys that 2007 is when the actual recession started. Now, look at what happened in 2008, right? So the recession started in 2007, okay? This was 2022, right? Right here. And then we had that sell-off. I'll bring that up bigger later. So here we are. This is 2022, okay? This is 2022 all over again. This was back in 2007, and this was 2022 all over again. And now look at what happened. We are in 2023, which represents 2009. This is what I think, and this is what I see, okay? So watch this. You guys see this, right? You guys see 2027 is when the recession happened. But when did they announce the recession? They actually announced it in 2009. So after the bottom of the recession, here's where they announced, oh, we are in a recession. And by the way, it started in 2007, right? So let's go to 5 years, right? Okay, here we are at the beginning of 2022. Where we at? Okay, here we are. Right here. 2022, right? Here we go again, right? And then what's happening now? Here we are in 2023, right? So 2022 started the downturn right here. 2022, it started the downturn. Bam, bam, we keep having these fake out bump ups. You see here? So it ran up, people thought it was over, and then it came down. Ran up, people thought it was over. What? Came down. Ran up, thought it was over. You get it. And then boom. What's going to happen? The same thing that happened in 2007. They're going to announce that back here in January-ish of 2022, they're going to announce we were in a recession. I'm just telling you, it will happen. So now, what was the lesson we learned here in 2007 after we had this downturn? We should have been buying all throughout here, because what happens to that? We're going to go into another bull run, bull run, bull run. Let's go to today. I'm just showing you guys in a basic chart. So since 2002, what should we be doing right now? Start at dollar cost averaging now. And yes, we may have a lower low than October, right? So if we have another major leg down, because we've only had 2 major legs down, and I believe we got a third one coming down, then we should be dollar cost averaging. And it doesn't matter if you catch a stock at its absolute low. You just start dollar cost averaging. Remember, the last recession went from 07 to 09, right? This one, I believe, and I may stand alone on this, January of 2022, as you guys know, has been a sturdy thing down. I believe it'll bottom out this year. I believe we just should be buying this year, even if we get another leg down. Now, if we get another leg down, I hope you have enough cash to go in even more aggressive into your stock. And if you're new, I would draw a pie. 50% of that would be VOO or VTI. And I definitely would have some Tesla, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. I would have some of those in those your daily DCAs. Okay? Remember, this is what I think, and I'm just somebody on YouTube talking. You have to do your own due diligence. I am going to leave it there, good people. I also, yes, history repeats. They always say, yeah, but this time is different. Okay, yeah, it's going to be different. The only thing that's going to make it different is you being different. Make sure that you don't miss this opportunity, because just like for those of you that are new, look at this. I'm going to go out max, and I'm going to tell you that the price that you could buy Apple here, you'll never get that chance again, because it keeps going up. The price that you can buy Apple here, you never get that chance again, because the next lows are not going to be this low. Okay, it may not get this low, right? And you're experiencing higher lows and higher highs over a greater period of time. So while you're learning how to get these hot plays, while you're learning options and everything else, just understand long term, if you simply continue to buy, especially in a down market, be more aggressive in a down market, you will build generational wealth. It works, right? I'm going to leave it right there. Make sure you guys check all the links. I was just going to just get on and talk about this stupid Investors Day, but Elon's somewhere asleep. They out somewhere partying because ain't nothing going on. We sitting here waiting. CNBC is sitting here waiting, and they late again. So I'm not going to be on here for 5 hours. Anybody that missed it, rewind it. A lot of gems in here, Uncle Larry. Yes, yes, thank you. Yep. Thank you, guys. Well, hey, we're going to continue on. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we will make another midday. And then Friday morning, I plan on going live in the morning. So I do live Friday mornings, and then I hit you off with the afternoon. Okay. Make sure you check out the 2 top links in the description below. If you're on your cell phones, just hit the topic of this, which is now a lie because Tesla Investors Day has yet to happen, okay? But at this point, we don't know when and how long, so I'm just going to leave it right here. I love you guys. This is not a chore for me. If I can help you guys to make money, it's cool. Remember these dates. Jobs, Friday, March 18th. Employment situation, which is the big jobs number, that is March 10th, okay? What's going to move the market bigly this year, I believe, CPI, March 14th, PPI, March 15th, and then the FOMC meeting, which is a total waste of time. They're just going to talk about what just happened, and that's going to cause the market to go down again. The FOMC meeting is the 21st and the 22nd of March, okay? So govern yourselves accordingly. Peace. We'll see you guys later.